From Nashville, Tennessee and the Nashville Broadcasting Network, it's the You Gotta Love It Show with your host, Keith Bradford. You never know who's going to show up and what's going to happen, but one thing is for certain, you gotta love it. Here's your host, Keith Bradford.
You gotta love it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into episode 4 of the You Gotta Love It podcast. This is a special show to me because I get to feature Mr. Kent Gill to get the show started. And what a great job he did. This is the footage that he sent us in. Let's watch.
Makes everything just right. We can dream a perfect world that might happen by and by, but it's not on the agenda tonight. Dear one, in matters of the heart, let's be honest from the start. There's just no way to fake it. Love don't just happen. We have to make it.
Sounds great, Kent. Man, as always. I am Johnny Wester. I'm a music historian here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm here in the incomparable Kent Gill's living room. He's showing off one of his new songs, Love Don't Just Happen, off his great CD called Let Not These Songs Be Wasted. Kent, thanks for having me over tonight.
So good to have you, Johnny.
Tell me a little bit about your the song. This is a great song.
Well, I tell you, I'm proud of this song. I wrote this song. It was basically inspired by some conversations my wife and I had when we were still dating about what we thought it took to make a really good marriage. And that this song, years later, kind of flowed from that.
Well, how long y'all been married? That's the first thing I need to ask.
Well, we've been married 53 years. And
Well, this song's good advice then.
I hope so.
Yes, sir.
I hope so.
Now, where'd you record this?
I recorded this at D&D Studios. Dexter Mathis and I produced this song. Dexter is a genius, and he is so good. But yeah, that's where we recorded it. I played guitar on this song. I played the Stratocaster right here and that Telecaster right there on this song.
Well, that Stratocaster looks like it has a little history. Tell me about that.
Well, that's the Stratocaster. Goes back to 1964. It's a 1963 model that was still in the store when I bought it, and I've had it since July of 1964.
Well, that's fantastic. So this song is going to be available where?
Well, this song is available at i2i Records if somebody wants the CD. Also iTunes, also Amazon.com, Spotify, all the digital stores. And of course, if someone just wants to contact my website, they can do that, kentgill.com.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate that. And you want to get back into the song, and we'll wrap it up and let the DJ hit it.
Well, I've seen people stand and wait for love to walk in through the gate, as if they didn't know they could create it. I've known love about to flow, could feel it in the room, but it built in with no one to cultivate it.
And that was Kent Gill right from his home in Louisiana. And we'll be right back after these good words.
I can solve difficult problems for a Fortune 500 company.
I can run a successful business.
I can manage your home improvements.
I can publicize your message.
I can motivate your audience.
I can put my military experience to work for your company.
I can teach your children.
I can boost your bottom line.
I can add value to your workplace.
I could be a loyal and productive employee.
But I can't put my skills to work for your organization
if I'm not given the opportunity.
If you don't recognize my talents and ability.
If you don't hire me.
If you don't have an open mind and a workplace that's open to everyone.
If you don't realize that America works best when everybody works.
What can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do?
You can remember that it worked.
It's what people can do.
It's what people can do that matters.
Nearly 50 million Americans have disabilities. Capitalize on their talents with employment practices that benefit everyone. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Now you talk about some memories. This next segment on the podcast show today, well, it's actually starting out with Ricky Skaggs introducing Kitty Wells. The Tennessee Mountain Boys are in place center stage at the Grand Ole Opry House, and Ricky Skaggs is at the mic right there, and he's bringing out Kitty Wells to perform one of her songs. And then immediately following that, we'll be bringing out Johnny Wright and Bobby Wright to join us for the closing number of that segment. Now you got to remember, this is the Grand Ole Opry, and it's live, and it's Ricky Skaggs' portion of the show. So let's go back in memories and watch this clip right now.
Glad I did something right. And on our show tonight, on my portion of the show, it really gives me a great bit of pleasure to introduce these next folks to you. I've known them for a long time. When I was a little kid, we got to go over and visit their house over where they live here in around Madison when I was just a little bitty boy, and they were so nice to my mom and dad and I. And yes, they was. And I got a chance to also hear these folks over in Huntington, West Virginia when I was real small growing up. There's some folks from West Virginia, sounds like. And I tell you what, there's a lot of ladies around, and there's a lot of queens that sing country music. But I want you to know one thing. There'll never be another queen of country music like Kitty Wells and Johnny Wright. Come on out, y'all.
Oh, I thank you for the roses. They're just like a breath of spring. Oh, I thank you for the roses and the memories that the roses bring. At my door, 1 dozen roses on the card. There was no name. My life revolved around the cinder, haunting memories. They still remain. Oh, I thank you for the roses. They're just like a breath of spring. Oh, I thank you for the and the memories that the roses bring. How about a nice hand for George Edwards? Oh, the Tennessee Our careless love shines so brightly, then burns out like a flame. Those happy times we remember, there was sunshine and now the rain. Oh, I thank you for the roses. They're just like a breath of spring. Oh, I thank you for the roses and the memories that the roses bring. Thank you.
Woo! Kitty Wells. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Kitty. Well, I tell you, now, it brings back some memories there. Well, I'm going to introduce you to another feller, and I thought he was going to come out with Miss Kitty, but he didn't. He's going to come out all by himself and be cool, you see. Her best half, Mr. Johnny Wright. Johnny? Woo! I'll give you $1 for that coat and hat. Johnny, how you doing?
Oh, fine, Ricky. It's sure nice to be on your show here tonight. We appreciate you inviting us, and we feel at home. This is a homecoming.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of friends here tonight. I'd like to, 3 bus loads of them I know came out of Peterborough, Ontario, and Kitchener and all. And we want to say hello to them, and I want to sing a a song here the Desert Rose Boys cut for us back in last year. They were really...
Folks thought it was a new song, didn't they?
Yeah, it'd been out a long time. And maybe you'll put it in your next album.
All right.
I hope. Ashes of Love.
I like that one.
Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made it, and I paid the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. The love light that gleams in your eyes has gone out to my surprise. We said goodbye and my heart bled. I can't revive the love that's dead. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made the dead, I paid the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out. Well, I trusted, dear, that our love would stand. Your every wish was my command. My heart tells me that I must forget. I loved you then, and I love you yet. Ashes of love, cold as ice. You made me dead, and I paid the price. Our love is gone, there's no doubt. Ashes of love, the flame burned out.
Bobby Wright, Johnny Wright, and Miss Kitty Wells. Oh, me.
And I wonder how many of y'all could find me during that clip. Well, I'm on the far right-hand side of the screen. I'm playing the bass guitar. I'm singing backup along with their grandson, Larry Stevenson, on Thank You for the Roses. But you can see me playing the bass over there. And by the way, let me go ahead and mention the rest of the band members on that clip. That was their other grandson, John Sturtevant Jr. on the drums. That's Mark Rogers on the lead guitar and George Edwards on the steel guitar. You got to remember, all that music that we made, all that touring, it was all done with just a 4-piece band. And we'll be right back after these good words.
Look around you. 1 in 4 kids in the U.S. faces hunger. It's not always easy to see the signs, but in this land of plenty, there are kids that don't know where they will get their next meal. Join Share Our Strength in Food Network and take the pledge to end childhood hunger here in America by 2015. Learn how at NoKidHungry.org. Their next meal could come from you.
Up next on this week's podcast, we're going to go ahead and insert one of our lessons. These are the lessons that I did throughout the years in various locations. This particular location is at the Bravo set in Toronto, Canada, and it's simply called Worn Out Phrases.
Are you as tired as I am of hearing those same worn out phrases from every band all over the world? How about when they come out, how y'all doing out there? Well, guess what? I am sick and tired of hearing of it. And I'm also sick and tired of people thinking that musicians only know how to count to 1, 2, as in check, 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 1, 2, check, 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 1, 2. They think we can only count to 2. Actually, we can count to 4, so don't be surprised if somebody counts to 4 when they're counting the song off. But how about when they say, well, here's a little Patsy Cline for you. You know what? If you can't think of something better to say than that, just sing the darn song. Don't be announcing, here's little Patsy Cline for you. Those phrases are worn out, they've been abused, and they don't need to be used anymore. If you can't think of something that is unique to your act to say, find somebody to write it out for you. Now, I don't mean sound like you're reading it. That's not what I mean. I don't want you to memorize a script and get out there and say, my gosh, it sounds like he's reading a script from a movie. Not that. But if you can't do it on your own, hire somebody that can. Hire somebody to kind of script out your show a little bit and then ad-lib around it. It'll be far better for your act if you do that than use worn-out phrases.
Okay, well, there is another lesson. When I say lesson, I mean stuff that they never tell you in the music business. You can only get it right here on the You Gotta Love It podcast each week. And I'm hosting it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying it. We're going to close out this week's broadcast with Kent Gill, just like I promised you at the top of the show. This is a slideshow that Donna Ray put together for him on another one of his songs called A Girl Named Dixie. I'll see you all next week for the You Gotta Love It podcast right here on this channel on YouTube. Don't forget to comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. We want more and more people to know about this podcast each and every week. I'll see you next week for episode number 5. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.
She was standing with her family there to greet us. The Texas sun was shining on her hair. As we got out of our old car, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I soon found out this lady's name was Dixie. Her eyes met mine as I stood on the sidewalk. She smiled at me as we all went inside. A beauty like I'd never seen. I think she'd just turned 17. That summer, Friday morning, I met Dixie. Her hair was gold, her eyes were green, a lady in her prime. She treated me like royalty and gave me all her time. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were all about this girl named Dixie. I don't remember why we went to see them. I reckon maybe they were family friends. That didn't seem to matter then. I thought I was a seasoned man, although I wasn't half the age of Dixie. That night we headed home to Louisiana. She kissed me on the cheek and said goodbye. I didn't know a thing to say. I stammered something, then I waved goodbye to that pretty girl named Dixie. Her hair was golden, honey blonde. Her eyes were forest green. She treated me like royalty, this girl of 17. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were all about this girl named Dixie. I've dreamed about her off and on since childhood, although I haven't seen her since that day. But if I ever see her again, I'll tell her what her memories been to me when I hear the song called Dixie. Her hair was gold, her eyes were green, a lady in her prime. She treated me like royalty and gave me all her time. She took me to a cowboy show, but what was playing, I don't know. My thoughts were wrapped around this girl named Dixie